Why be easy when you can just die? Woo! Whoa! I'm Chewy Mew. Welcome to my channel, but more specifically, we're going to be taking a look. That's not how my intro goes. Woo! Whoa! I'm Chewy Mew. Welcome to my channel, but more specifically, welcome to another Chewy Mew video, where today we're going to be taking a look at a figure that I got several months ago, maybe like 2 or 3 months ago, that I never reviewed because I don't know why. And that is the Hasbro Marvel Legends Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, although it's not Part 1, it's just Across the Spider-Verse, Miles Morales. So we're going to take a look at this guy here. We got him in the box. Spoilers, I did already open it. I did already have him posed and stuff like that. I just put him back away, and this instruction thing telling you, hey, don't eat toys, in like 10 different languages. We're not going to be looking at that, but let's take a look at the box here. Let's put the wide angle lens on so we can see this guy. Very detailed, or very... we can see everything. Miles Morales, it says here, Hasbro. Marvel Legends series. So they don't just say Marvel Legends, they say Marvel Legends series. And that's also in the Spider-Verse kind of glitchy looking letter there. It looks cool in the box, but, having this big package and having all this empty space in the box really shows you how little stuff he comes with. Like, no Build-A-Figure piece. They didn't put a Build-A-Figure piece because they knew suckers like me were going to buy most of them anyway without having a Build-A-Figure piece. See their picture of Miles there on the back. And let's go ahead and open this thing here. He also has the cool retro packaging. Although this figure and this movie have nothing retro about them at all. So Hasbro's just doing it to just be for the aesthetic, I guess. I don't know. We have a bunch of accessories here. No, I'm kidding. No, we don't. We only have like... Realistically, we only have like one accessory here. But yeah, so... Yeah, here's the figure. Let's put the wide angle lens... Or turn off the wide angle lens there. Let's put the other head on, because this head looks pretty cool. I'm pretty much only going to display him with the masked head, because I don't really care too much about unmasked heads. Unless that's like something the figure is like... It has or something. It's like that's how it is. Like the Peter B. Parker figure, not from this way, from the Into the Spider-Verse. I usually display him unmasked when he's not like in the full suit. So because that's how the character looks. But I never display regular characters that aren't like in their human forms unmasked. Like for example, the Wrestler Spider-Man from the Toy Biz Spider-Man 1 movie figures. That one I leave him unmasked because I don't have the mask. But also that's like a gimmick of the character that he is unmasked, or of that figure. And a lot of people say these figures are too skinny and they hate them. A lot of people, mostly Hasbro fans, because Hasbro fans, specifically Marvel Legends, can't seem to really choose what they like. They like specific things and they hate everything else. That's just how it works. Whoopsies, I didn't mean to switch it. But it's because I'm wiping my screen off. It gets a lot of dust from these lights. I don't know how that happens though, but it does. So a lot of Hasbro fans are saying, "Oh, I'm not going to buy these because they're too stylized and I guess they're too accurate to the movie for me." And then people also say, "I wish they made more unique looking characters and had them more stylized." But then when they do too stylized, people are like, "No, they suck," which I think it looks fine. He's probably a little too skinny even for the movie. He should probably be like a bit thicker, like Gwen. Gwen's not even thick; she's like anti-thick. But I mean, obviously not like these kind of like the female proportions, but definitely have like a little bit thicker body parts. Like their arms are almost as skinny, but I don't know. He looks a little bit too skinny. Like, extend the waist. I don't know. He looks like a little too skinny. It looks a little bit weird. He's not too accurate to the movie. Once you have him posed and stuff, it works. Except, it looks, like you crushed his body parts when he bends forward. And that's a good ab crunch, but they put it too high up on the body. It's like halfway up the torso. It should be like right down here. Then you move forward, it looks really cool. No, it doesn't. That looks kind of bad. But either way, as far as this head sculpt here, take a look at the face. Oops. The face looks pretty good. They did pretty good with the detail. Very stylized. It looks pretty accurate to the movie. Let me turn on the flash here. That's not going to work. This light I have over here is too far away. How's that? I think it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty accurate to the movie and stuff. The camera's really making this look super, super bright and flashy. That's a little bit weird. It looks pretty cool. They painted the eyes good. The first one I saw at Target before I eventually took it back because it was, this arm was like, I think it was broken, or what was wrong with it? Something, or no, the elbow here broke or something when I got it. This one did not break, spoilers. Then I returned it and stuff. And one of the figures I saw on the shelves, he had, I think both of his eyes were just completely black. Like, they painted the whole eye black. Like, his brown pupil, or like hazel, whatever, is completely gone. You just saw the white part of the eye, and then the rest was just all black. It looked like he was possessed, which doesn't look very good. The hair looks cool. It doesn't look as sculpted as it should. Like doesn't it look like it has detail on it, but then it feels like the detail isn't as sharp. Like, you look how crispy and sharp the details are on the suit here. It's so tiny, it doesn't focus too good. There's like some red spots. I didn't see those before. But then the hair doesn't have, it looks like it's sculpted, but it doesn't, I don't know, it looks like it's painted, it looks glossy, or like, it looks like it's glossed over, like it doesn't have as much definition. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it looks cool. The head sculpt looks pretty good. I'm never going to display him with this head sculpt, just because I don't really care too much about human head sculpts. Like I said, unless the figure is unmasked as like a gimmick, or that's like something the figure does, you know, like I said, like with the Toy Biz Wrestler Spider-Man. He's an unmasked Spider-Man, and that's kind of why you have an unmasked. But as far as this head, I prefer this head just because I generally don't prefer human faces unless they're like an unmasked person. Like, I keep repeating the same thing, but I just prefer this head. Look at those huge eyes and stuff. Very cool head. On the front of his face, it's hard to tell on the camera, but right here on the front, like in between his eyes and like about to where his mouth would be up here, or mouth would be and up here, he has like a blue sort of like shading there. That's the only place he has it on the body where it's like a blue shading. It has this really cool texture to it. That's pretty cool. That looks cool. The spider logo on the back, people say it's inaccurate. It's not a big deal to me. What is a bit of an issue to me is they don't continue the spider torso going all the way up, or these legs. It just kind of cuts off halfway. The one on the front, they kind of did it, but they're not even symmetrical, and they're not even lined up right. Yeah, Hasbro just doesn't care, do they? The texture throughout the suit is pretty cool. It's like very scratchy and stuff. This logo does look pretty nice, but it does that, which, I mean, you know, the eye crunch looks bad anyway, so it's, you know, it's insult to injury. These red parts here are actually sculpted. They're actually sculpted, so they are sticking out a bit. This red part is just painted here. One thing I did notice is if you look at this part, this torso part has the blue paint apps on it, right? This leg has the blue paint apps here, and it has the same texture. This part right here also has the same texture, but does not have the paint apps. Or here on the back of the leg. Or, I don't see any else. Or, not the knees though. But yeah, so this part doesn't have it. This part doesn't have it. None of the back has it, or the arms here as well. But the blue has it here. So it's like they didn't finish painting the figure, so it looks off. They didn't fully paint the figure and stuff, and for $24, you need to at least finish painting your figure. Here's the rims here. Those look pretty cool. Or like the rim of the shoe. Painted red there. That's pretty cool. It has the texture going everywhere. It looks pretty cool. If they would have added some sort of wash to it to make it look more obvious, because it just looks plain and flat. It is sculpted and stuff, but sometimes even just sculpting the detail, not painting it, still doesn't make it look right, you know? Like sculpting the web lines but not painting them on a figure, it looks weird, like the No Way Home figure. Or like the Retro Shocker, they didn't paint the web lines, or they didn't paint the lines on his costume, so it looks weird. I was thinking of maybe customizing this and painting the lines in, but the thing is, I don't really care enough about the figure to want to do that. I might, though, because I have a blue that probably matches this. Fun fact, I actually used this blue for my custom Peter B. Parker full-suited figure. That's pretty cool. But yeah, it's pretty plain. Like, as far as paint goes, like, as far as sculpt goes, it definitely beats most Hasbro figures. Like, as far as the detail that's sculpted on, but the paint is pretty low. It's mostly just all black plastic with a little bit of paint here and there. Like, I mean, yeah, you don't really need a lot of paint for this, but it doesn't have any, like, wash or shading or anything to it. It just looks kind of plain. And they didn't finish painting the blue parts, so technically it's not even a finished product. And people might say, well, maybe in the movie it doesn't look like this or something, but if you're going to do it here, do it everywhere, you know? Don't skimp out and leave it in only certain parts. I think it looks cool, though. It doesn't look like it's, you know, finished. But I can't talk. With that aside, let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation here. So it looks up all the way. It looks up all the way. It can look down all the way. You don't really get any pivot, or you do get ever so slight pivot here. You can rotate the head all the way around. The arms go up all the way, but when you move them down, this bicep joint here definitely looks like it's probably going to break at any second, even though it does pop off, so it's better for it to pop off than break. But you shouldn't really have to worry about that happening for $24 figures. You get a double bend in the knee that's pinless. I don't really care too much about pinless. It's fine if it's pinless. It's fine if it's not. But it's actually not fine because Hasbro wouldn't paint the inside here, so it would look weird. You get a hinge in the wrist that goes all the way down, kind of goes all the way up. Doesn't focus because how tiny the hand is, and it rotates. They also painted the red part right there, so that's pretty cool. The ab crunch is really goofy looking, but it does work pretty good. The problem is they put it too high up. Like, they need to put the ab crunch right here lower, so when you bend it back, it doesn't look terrible like that. Rotation here in the waist, that looks really bad when you have them like at the side like that. Like that, it doesn't look as bad. He can't do the splits, which he should do the splits. That's unfortunate. The legs can kick up all the way. They go back a bit. You have a thigh rotation here. You get a double bend in the knee that's pinless. And if you, depending on how you bend them, you can get a little bit more range. Like if you bend the top one first, and then you bend the bottom one, you get that much movement. But if you bend the bottom one first, and then the top one, you get that. They both, it kind of looks the same, but it's slightly different. The foot goes, or the ankle goes all the way forward, all the way back. And you have an ankle pivot, which I still think Hasbro's ankle pivots are kind of fine in some instances. Like, you can have his legs spread that far, but if you want him in some kind of pose, like one knee forward, or one knee forward, one knee back like this, he can't really do that pose that good. His feet aren't fully on the ground, which I'm kind of okay if the figure's not completely on the ground. It does work, though, but I don't know, it's not as, if he had like a boot cut or ankle cut, or just give him like the ball hinge ankles or whatever, that would work. But no, Hasbro's using outdated technology, which I know people say Toy Biz uses outdated technology, but the thing is, Toy Biz isn't making figures right now. Hasbro's making figures right now, and they're outdated compared to their actual competition, not to Toy Biz. But either way, also, he does come with interchangeable hands, which you can give him like a flipping hand, which, you know, whoop-de-doo. For me, interchangeable hands, it's not really an accessory, it's just you're compensating for the lack of finger joints. I mean, yeah, most figures these days, or pretty much all figures these days, don't have finger joints, but I mean, you know, interchangeable hands are not an accessory. That's more like a necessity, so the figure can actually have poses. An accessory would be like, I don't know, like more heads, I guess, a display stand, something else. Interchangeable hands is not an accessory, that's a necessity. Without interchangeable hands, you're stuck with just fists or just web hands or just whatever. So you need accessories. These aren't accessories, that's just a thing. The only accessory is the head, which it's a good accessory. I'm never going to use it though. So as far as the accessories, as far as for me personally, he doesn't come with anything useful. I'm probably going to switch the hands maybe like every couple months. Probably not even ever. But either way, that's it for this video. Let me think about this figure, and I will see you guys in the next review. Wow.